Welcome to the eighth wonder of the tennis world, the All-Iowa Lawn Tennis Club located in majestic Charles City, Iowa. Our job today, enjoy one of the best tennis players in the world, Madison Keys, as she returns to her home state in a celebration of our cherished sport. Buckle your seatbelts, folks. This is the Madison Keys Court of Dreams celebration of tennis.
I'm so excited, one, being able to go home to Iowa, but just to have this whole experience. And I felt like I wanted to do something good for the world. It's obviously raising money for a lot of really great causes. So I'm just, a lot of really great positives coming from this. Just be a small part of this incredible facility and experience is just an absolute honor for me.
On top of featuring outstanding tennis, today's event seeks to raise awareness about the necessities of speaking about one's mental health. In fact, all proceeds from today's match will go to Kindness Wins, a foundation focused on both providing treatment to those struggling with their mental health and stressing the importance of acts of kindness in everyday life. This story of struggle is a personal one to All-Iowa Lawn Tennis Club founder Mark Kewen, and led not only to his engagement in today's event, but his creation of this iconic facility.
This is a whimsical replica of the most famous tennis court in the world. It's definitely a unique location out here in the middle of the corn and bean fields along a gravel road, kind of like a dream. Almost surreal. My name is Mark Kewen. I'm the owner, operator, head groundsman here at the All-Iowa Lawn Tennis Club. I'm a corn and soybean farmer. I acquired my interest in tennis while listening to the championships at Wimbledon on my grandfather's shortwave radio. In about 1962, this was a cattle feedlot. One of my chores was to take care of the cattle. Well, one day I came up with the idea to build a grass tennis court here. We discussed this with a turf grass specialist. He said, "Do you know how much maintenance it would take? What makes you think you could build a tennis court in your backyard?" And I said, "Well, I'm a farmer, and that's what we do. We grow things for a living." And so we started with that premise that we were going to give it a try, not knowing if it would really work or not. We brought in loads of very sandy soil. The drainage tile was installed. We seeded the court for the first time. There's nothing quite like a grass tennis court. It's softer, it's more forgiving on your body. It kind of absorbs the sun's rays. It has a deadening, a different sound than a hard court. And it's very rare. Most grass tennis courts are found back east in private clubs. From day one, both of our sons, Alex and Mason, and my wife were 100% committed to this passion of mine. My newest dream was to intern at Wimbledon. In 2011, a Tennis Channel crew called me up and asked me if they could do a feature story that would be shown at Wimbledon. In 2012, we were invited over there. Alex and I were there in 2015, and then in 2016, I worked as a court attendant. I've actually had the honor of putting up the net on center court. Just a remarkable experience. When you're gone for 2 weeks, remember the court has to be mowed almost every day. Alex was doing that while we were gone. We got back very late on Monday night. Then on Thursday, we saw Alex for the last time here. And on Friday morning, we discovered that Alex had taken his own life by suicide. And it was from the high point of your life to the low point. Suicide is a tough thing for a lot of people to talk about. We're open about it. We don't want to see this tragedy happen to anyone else for any reason. We ask people to seek professional help because there are people here to help you. This place is free to come play for kids, but we do accept donations to support our tournament every year. Teams of 6 players from Iowa compete against players from Minnesota. And there are 3 boys and 3 girls on each team. and they're 12 years old and under. Hopefully they'll go home with some lessons about tennis and about life that'll stick with them a long time. One of the things Alex wanted to do was to convert the court to ryegrass like Wimbledon. We prepared the surface for seeding. The next spring it came up and opened up for the first of our tournaments. And so really the first time it was played on was by the kids, and it looked like opening day of Wimbledon. It was beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Madison Keys Court of Dreams celebration of tennis. My name is Alex Gruski, and I'll be emceeing today's affair. But of course, before we can get to the tennis, just look where we are. How many people have a grass court in their backyard? Only one man I'm lucky enough to know, and he and his entire family have been kind enough to host us today. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mark and Denise Kewen and the Kewen family. We actually cut half the queue. Double this. And with this in mind, I will hand the microphone over to the man who personally mowed this court this morning. I was here, 8 a.m. These fine lines brought to you by the man himself. Give it up for Mark Kewen.
Thank you, Alex. Good afternoon and welcome to the All Iowa Lawn Tennis Club, the home of the Alex J. Kewen Court of Dreams. My family and I are thrilled to host you here today. This is our 20th anniversary of playing tennis on the lawn here at the Kewen Family Farm. I can't believe we've done this for 20 years. This was never meant to be a destination place. This was just a whimsical replica of Wimbledon Center Court, and look what it's become. I want to introduce to you the people that made that happen. This is my dream, but it's my family that did it. My wife, Denise. We like to call her the Queen because she is the Queen of the court, and without Denise, none of this would have been possible. I'd like to introduce the rest of my family to you. From left to right, my granddaughter Julia, Lori, that's Mason's wife, my grandson Jake, our son Mason, grandson Rylan, grandson Colin, Denise's sister Becky, help me. Lene and Taylor. There are a lot of reunions that are taking place here today. My sister Diane came all the way from Phoenix, and in the crowd we also have people who have come here over the period of 20 years, some many times from faraway places, some who just kind of love the place. And that seems to be the passion. We've created something that people truly appreciate and love. And it's our goal to keep it here as long as we can. I want to tell you, I get some really interesting emails. And this morning I woke up to one and I just have to repeat it because it's very typical. John from Stillwater, Minnesota writes, I'm a huge Wimbledon fan, and visiting the Court of Dreams has been on my bucket list for years. Could I stop by today for a hit about 1 o'clock? The team that made this all possible really needs to be recognized. Ryan Nahr, our event director, and all, yes, you'll be seeing from him later. There is a host of people it took to put this into motion. We've been working on it for a long time. And you know when you really got a good friend, when you get a rainy forecast at 9 o'clock at night, and you say to 8 of your friends, I need you over here at 11 o'clock to put a tarp out here, which is exactly what we did last night. And we collected about 220 gallons of water and got rid of it this morning. So without the team that we've assembled, none of this could have been possible. So you'll be introduced to the players and some of the special folks here in just a minute. But we want to really welcome you from our hearts and let you know that we hope you have a great day today. Peace always, be kind, love all, and rest in peace, Alex.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, can we get a standing round of applause for our host today? Let's give it up for the Kewen family. Have to love. Some people on a whim, they go get ice cream. Mark, he builds a grass tennis court. That makes a ton of sense to all of them. But of course, those of you who are aware of this Court of Dreams comes in the spirit of the Field of Dreams, an iconic movie every man here over the age of 40 has seen and cried to the movie Field of Dreams. So of course, in that spirit, whenever you've got a Court of Dreams, you've got some ghosts, some players of the past who ultimately emerge and who share their spirit with today's event. With that in mind, it's time for us to introduce our ghost players attending here today. Now, I won't lie, for the 1947 Wimbledon champion, he's looking pretty spry out there. But joining us from Las Vegas, Nevada, he was handed the Wimbledon Cup by King George IV, the last relevant king. If you're going to ask me, give it up for Jack Kramer. Now, of course, our next ghost, a legend in the tennis game. And again, looking pretty good for a player her age. Let's welcome on one of the most iconic tennis players in the business, our ghost, Billie Jean King. And last, but certainly not least, a man who has meant so much to the sport of tennis. And of course, you may also recognize his quote, a quote that is an inspiration to so many. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Certainly, that's what we've tried to do here at the All Iowa Lawn Tennis Club. Welcome onto the court, Arthur Ashe. If you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. With that in mind, it's time to introduce our players from the actual Field of Dreams. Ceremonial toss. Hit someone in the crowd. Come on. Woo! And with our ceremonial toss now out of the way, we are ready to bring our umpires and players onto the court. Let's start with a graduate of Mason City High School. Now, I'm not going to say the year of that graduation, but I will say she was a standout tennis player and coach at Luther College, a member of the All-Iowa Lawn Tennis Club Foundation. Welcome onto the court, Sue Ortel. Our other umpire today, a near and dear friend of the Kewen family who flew all the way from Denver, Colorado to join us. Please welcome onto the court, Brad Schuster. And last, but certainly not least, a man who we see here now running this event, but if you're asking me, U.S. Open director in the next 5 years, of course, you may know him as the 2021 USPTA National High School Coach of the Year. I know him as our event director. Give it up for Ryan Nahr. And now it's time to introduce our players onto the court. They'll be the ones providing today's entertainment, other than, of course, yours truly. But let's start with our junior participants. So cool to have this opportunity to play, not only in an event like this, but to play some grass court tennis. That's just not something you get to do quite frequently. Joining us now, a rising senior from your home state of Iowa. She was the 2021 Iowa State doubles champion for Cedar Falls. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Maya Malavarapu. All right, Maya, hometown favorite, good to know. Next up, she's a rising junior from Conrad Weiser High School in Pennsylvania, the 2020 Pennsylvania State Doubles Champion, and in my opinion, the most impressive of the Perkins family. Let's give it up for Emma Perkins. Next up, you may know him as the top-ranked college tennis player in Division II. I know him as my buddy. Give it up for KP Pannu. Also participating in today's action. He was a lot better looking when he had a full head of hair, but you still may know him as a three-time ATP doubles champ, former coach of Leighton Hewitt and Max Purcell. Give it up for Nathan Healey. Our next player reached the doubles final at the 2021 U.S. Open. She also just reached her first WTA singles quarterfinal on the grass courts over in Europe. Welcome onto the court, Caty McNally. And last, but certainly not least, the reason we are all gathered here today, the pride of all things Iowa tennis. Oh yeah, she's been a pretty good pro as well. Give it up for 2017 U.S. Open finalist and our namesake here at today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, Madison Keys. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to stand and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem, being sung today by Anders.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner